Hi. I'm very happy to be in Korea, to be in Seoul, and to be in front of all of you. So thank you for inviting me here to chat with you. So today I'll be talking a bit about the technology, blockchain, our exchange, show you a little bit more about our app, and talk about how we're different. So let's get started. So from a blockchain technology perspective, I categorize what we do and the world into three categories: the currency, the platform, and the utility. So from a currency perspective, when you look at coins like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, it's been around for a long, long time. Like John said, it's been around for 9 years. And it's designed to be alternatives to fiat currency. It really obeys the fundamental laws of economics and supply and demand. When you look at the next iteration of how blockchain has evolved, technology like Ethereum has built on top of the blockchain ecosystem. Essentially created this decentralized computation network, what we call as Internet 3.0. And these applications built on top of the blockchain has been really, really interesting and fundamentally changes how we see and do using computers today. So other systems and platforms such as Neo and EOS are also really popular. When we look at utility, it's another use of the blockchain technology. So it typically tries to address a need and try to make something better, try to improve existing platforms. And we've seen a lot of focus around the fintech, financial technology area. So when you look at Ripple, Stellar, Kik, these are all really popular utility-based blockchain technology. Okay, here we go. So when we look at where the future of this technology would be, I really see a lot of maturity and governments taking these technologies a lot more seriously. And I truly believe in 5 years' time, everybody will be using a digital currency in their phones. So when you go to the bar and buy a beer, you can actually use a digital currency to conduct that transaction. So when we look at online exchanges for digital currency and crypto technology, I really think the three key elements of a good exchange is stability, scalability, and security. When I talk about scalability, okay, here we go. Well, when I talk about stability, it's talking about It's really talking about the technology being compliant with the various legal government regulations. It's having the proper foundations in place to make sure the right contracts, the right company foundation exists. And it's about having the right experience and the time that you have invested in building this technology. And when I talk about scalability, it's really about no matter how many people use the system, it behaves exactly how we designed it to behave. It's really fast. A lot of people can use it at the same time. And when you look at popular exchanges, there's enough supply and demand. So when you want to conduct a transaction, something happens. And when you look at security, it's really about protecting your assets, protecting your digital currency. We can ensure the right privacy protections in place, and the transactions that you conduct are private to you as well. So I really think the best exchange are really simple to use. It's almost as seamless as just using your fiat currency. And it should be so simple that you don't need to learn new terminology, new languages. It should be as simple as a buy and a sell. So how do you choose the best? When we look at legacy systems, sometimes it takes 30 minutes, sometimes it takes 2 weeks. And when you send $100 of value, you're not really sure what you're going to get at the other end of it. Maybe it's $90, maybe it's $120. So a good system should be able to behave really fast. And when you send $100, you should be able to get $100. And I also think once a technology it's really easy to use, it's reliable, and it's really fast, it will be adopted by the masses. And it's only when it's adopted by everybody, the system has that longevity, has that scalability. And let's not forget about the fundamentals of a good exchange, and it's the stability, scalability, and the security. So let's look at the technology. Let's have a look at it. So I have 2 phones. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so I'm launching the app. This is the home screen of the app. Well, I'll use this hand. Let's buy some coins. I'm going to buy 10 coins at $2.50 each. Here we go. I bought 10 coins. See how fast that was? Let's send some coins to this phone right here. So I'm going to buy 75 coins. Here we go, done. That took like a second. And that's our technology. So when we look at the alternatives, what we just did takes weeks, takes hours. What you see in front of you goes to this vast data network that is super secure, that can handle hundreds of thousands of transactions at the same time. And it just happened like that, under a second. So we're really proud of the technology which we've built. Okay, so let's look at our comparisons and how we're different. So when you look at Bitcoins, it can do 7 transactions per second, which means every second it has a maximum capacity to process 7 Bitcoin transfers. Ethereum, maybe 25, and Litecoin, 56. So how many transactions can we process? In the very early tests that we've done, in the very alpha stages of our technology, we've done a little bit of testing. We can do 20,000 per second. And this is really, really cool. If we have to put them in a graph on the same scales, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin wouldn't even show. Just to recap what we can do, in the early tests that we have, it's 20,000 per second. And we think it can do a lot more. So when you take a look at the speed of the transactions, we can do everything pretty much under a second. Really complicated computational processing under a second. And when you look at Bitcoin, 78 minutes, Ethereum, 6 minutes, Litecoin, 30 minutes. We can do things really fast. And that's what I was talking about earlier, that seamless experience. I walk up to a shop, I buy a beer, there it is, done. So how do we do this? How do we do it really, really fast? This is going to get a little bit technical, but stay with me. It's quite interesting. We design our data structure to be like a tree. In computer science, it's called data trees, where the data of your accounts, your currency, are essentially leaves of a tree. And we design it this way, so it's really, really fast to access. When you search for information, instead of going through everything one by one, you can essentially navigate to the right branch, the right sub-branch, and the right leaf really quickly. And instead of building really tall trees, we built really shallow trees. And we take parts of those trees and created what we call shards. And we replicated these shards over and over to provide that redundancy. And when we put all of these shards together, we create this amazing speed that allows us to transfer and conduct computation at a really fast pace, but also at unparalleled capability. So 20,000 per second, like the thing that we have tested before. And when you remove a shard, the other shards will take its place. So it's highly resilient, just like a lot of the blockchain technology out there. So when you look at the tests that we have done performance testing, load balancing testing to the equivalent of 1 million requests per second. And as you can see in this graph, as the number of requests increase, so from 0 to 10,000 requests per second, our speed maintained around that 1 second mark. So even though we have increased in the number of users, our ability to respond is still under a second. And that is really, really amazing. So when we look at our security, we believe security is the paramount of what we do and what we are about. So on every single layer of that technology, we've added the best-in-class capability to prevent distributed denial of service attacks. We added the firewalls to restrict a certain amount of traffic, and everything is encrypted all the way through. So that's it. We've had a good look at our technology. Thank you for your time, and thank you for welcoming me and Saponic to be a part of this. Thank you.